So the site that used to house the House of Pain, the mighty Carisbrook, has been bought up by, of course, Calder Stewart a few years ago. And there's a bit of an argument going on at the moment because what's being proposed is what they're calling a 10.5 metre setback. Now, Dominic George, we're going to talk about the setback as in a piece of land that separates, I'm assuming, the footpath from where the development starts. A green strip, might be grass, might be parkland.
Should we call it a verge?
Maybe a verge.
Let's call it a verge.
Officially it's called a setback, but what we're assuming and what we're saying is that think about that as in a space between the footpath and where this development may be. Right, so there's been a ruling that the setback needs to be 10.5 metres. Calder Stewart are saying, well, hang on, this is not really fair because that's 1,1700 square metres of the property that we purchased but we can't use. And they've come back with, I guess, a counter offer saying, how about we make the setback 3 metres?
Yeah. The question, Pat, is, what is the setback actually going to achieve? Is it just to put a bit of greenery around there? I mean, that part of town's a dog's breakfast anyway.
Yep.
It's industrial land. I mean, have you driven past there? It's just a shambles. My favourite old Carisbrook. I love the place. We used to... I've been there ever since I was a kid, going along to games, cricket, rugby, you name it. It was absolutely fantastic. Breaks the heart to see what it's like now. I just want to see them actually do something on this site, on this piece of land. So my question really regards if the setback is under the 2GP plan, if it's going to be 10.5 metres, well, what's the purpose of it?
Well, let's have a look. There has been some research undertaken by the University of Otago showing South Dunedin has a low population of native birds because of the habitat. So I guess what they're saying is planting native trees, etc., could be valuable habitat for animal life, to be surrounded by all the concrete. I was
going to say, what, in amongst the car yard and the industrial sites to the left. I mean, I'm all for having more wildlife and native life around the place for sure. I mean, that's not a bad thing. If that's the only reason, though, you would imagine that the people at Calder Stewart will say, well, hang on a minute, we purchased the land under, a certain agreement, and it would appear, conceded 3 metres out of the 10.5 that's proposed. Whether or not 3 metres is enough, I guess that's for people that are paid to decide these things to make up their minds on. You don't want to see it get litigious though, do you? You don't want to see this drag out and we just have that hideous concrete rubble standing there for another couple of years.
I feel like I'm watching... do you watch that program where they go into the containers and they find treasure and then they sell it to people?
Oh, I know.
Auction
hunters.
hunters.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And where one person goes, it's $500, I'll give you $1,000. We'll call it $750.
Yeah.
Maybe we could meet in the middle because I do notice that Calder Stewart, it was reported that they purchased it for $3.3 million. It right now has a council valuation of $4.6 million.
Yeah.
So they've done quite well for themselves. So why don't we just sort it out for them right now? One party says 3 metres, the other party says 10 metres. Let's call it 7.
7.
We'll call it 7.
Yeah.
Everyone happy? Walk away with maybe 1 or 2 birdie type trees.
Why not? And as long as they keep, and I think they have to, you'll see amongst all the rubble, there's that wonderful old turnstile on Burn Street from when the ground was originally erected, whenever that was, Carisbrook, way back in the day, well over 100 years ago. And, that is going to be kept as well, which is fantastic. It was made for little people because the doors, you always had to crouch down. The thing was so low. Magnificent.
Even you had to crouch down?
Even I had to.
Really?
So facetious.
Must have been minuscule.
Wow, that's amazing. Can't believe you said that.